In an email that was discovered from that of Mayor Eric Adams of New York City to that of the federal government, he said this in regards to Title 42 being lifted on December 21st. This cannot continue. With the expiration of Title 42 just days away, we need the federal government, both in the administration and in Congress, to share their plans to move asylum seekers to other cities, to allow asylum seekers to work, and to send aid to cities that have borne the brunt of the crisis. And so more specifically, Title 42 was set in place in 2020 by that of President Trump. When the pandemic happened, he basically said, okay, let's close up the borders and let's not allow anybody else to come in because, again, the coronavirus was raging, did not want the spread to continue by people coming in. It also said that we could immediately expel people who are asylum seekers from the country, regardless of why they're coming over here, political asylum or whatever, right? We could send them back. And so they said about 2 million of asylum seekers or immigrants have been sent back. Now, again, that will be lifted on December 21st. And Mayor Eric Adams is saying we are anticipating 10 to 15 busloads of immigrants coming to our city alone, and that we have already experienced about 31,000 immigrants, having caused us to make 60 emergency shelters for them, and we simply cannot do it anymore. And so he is beckoning upon the federal government and the state government, hey, y'all need to do something. He's also asking for about $1 billion in FEMA funds to pay them back for the money that they have already spent to take care of the immigrants. Now that is being done. Title 42 is being lifted by that of the Biden administration. The Democrats, Mayor Eric Adams is also a Democrat. Now, it wasn't that long ago when he was walking around and giving people a tour of, you know, the amenities that the immigrants would be partaking in. And now it's like, okay, we don't want to do this anymore, right? So it's like, it's fun and games when Title 42 is in place, but now that it's being lifted, it's like, oh my God, they're all going to be coming over here because we have like showed up and showed out for them, right? They have all this nice amenities with the TVs, and some of them have been put up in a nice hotel. And so, I mean, if I was an immigrant, I'd be like, you know what? I want to take the bus straight to New York City because they are really doing a lot for people, giving them resources and all that. So yeah, that's where I want to go. But it's like, nah, Mayor Adams, don't chicken out now. Step up to the plate. You know, y'all, see, that's the thing though. The Democrats, you open all the floodgates for everybody else, but when it comes crunch time, and now that people are going to be going over there even more, so it's like, well, I don't want to do that no more. You know, he was doing it during the midterms where it was nice and fun to say, oh, you know, we want to open the borders and let people come over. America's a melting pot. But it's like, you don't want to melt no more, do you? So, I don't know. It won't be just Mayor Eric Adams in New York City that will experience that. It'll be people all over. You know, it's like it's free for all, right? We can go over to America, and not only will they put us up in shelter, we'll get stuff, right? But they're not even doing that. They, being America's, not even doing that for the people who are here. We got a lot of homeless Americans sleeping on the street as we speak. And they ain't being put up in shelters. Now I know Mayor Karen Bass, she's talking about doing that in Los Angeles, but as of now, they still on the street. So
turned away at the Texas border. The National Guard blocking migrants from entering the United States. One official telling them to try an official port of entry instead. It's a snapshot of El Paso under a state of emergency amid a growing border crisis.
The Biden administration has no plan on how to deal with this situation at the border once Title 42 goes away.
In response to the Supreme Court's pause of Title 42, the Biden administration asking the High Court to delay its expiration until after Christmas. But ultimately, it wants the court to reject efforts by Republican-led states to keep the pandemic-era policy in place permanently. In a Tuesday filing, the White House acknowledging the end of Title 42 will likely lead to disruption and a temporary increase in unlawful border crossings. Immigration advocates echoing the need for change.
This was a public health measure, not an immigration enforcement measure. We need to get rid of Title 42.
We visited this migrant camp in Reynosa, Mexico, where Pastor Hector Silva de Luna told us immigration policies mean little to those chasing the potential of a better life.
Do people come up to you and ask you about Title 42?
They don't know what Title 42 it means.
He tells us over the last year, Venezuelans, Haitians, and Nicaraguans waiting to claim asylum have quadrupled the size of this tent city. Back in El Paso, despite DHS and Border Patrol moving out more than 10,000 migrants this week alone, Shelter Director Ruben Garcia fears an even bigger spike if Title 42 ends.
I believe Border Patrol is going to be processing 5,000-6,000 refugees per day, possibly even more.
For now, they pray, with a future as uncertain as ever.
What's going on, everybody? Safar Sadek here. Hey, here we go. Y'all voted for these motherfuckers, so hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna entitle this one Tidal, as in tidal wave 42. I'm gonna play on words. So I'm gonna run through these few precepts and everything, and at the end of this, I got some shit to share with y'all, man. Let's get going. Let's look at Jeremiah 51:14. Ahiah of hosts have sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. And the shout is, give us asylum. Yep, that's what we got going on. And for those of you that don't know, Jeremiah chapter 50 and 51 are prophecies specific to Babylon. Some have already been fulfilled with the Babylon of Nebuchadnezzar's time, but most of this shit is for us. Let's look at Jeremiah 50:15. Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. In other words, extended an invitation. That's what these politicians do, because they always like to have these people as a backup in case the American people decide, look, man, fuck this. I'm not dealing with this shit no more. Well, fuck you. We got a whole nother group of people that do our bidding, so to speak. So the invitation was out there, but Title 42 was put in place during a bullshit pandemic to halt all that, so to make it look like they was trying to secure the borders to keep that shit from coming in here. The real reason why they did that was because they ran out of resources to be able to accommodate these people, and they still don't have enough resources to accommodate all these people. Verse 15, shout against her round about. She has given her hand, extended an invitation. Her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Ahiah. Take vengeance upon her, and she hath done do unto her. It's Jeremiah 50:15. Don't think all these people come up from Central and South America. You got some Mujahideen mixed in with these people because they look just like them, and all kind of other enemies of this motherfucker that are mixed in right along with them. Let's look at Judges chapter 6 verse 5. For they came up with their cattle and their tents. You saw in one of those presentations how they set up tent cities. They don't have a problem living in tents. And they came as grasshoppers for multitude. They don't really know how many of these motherfuckers is down there. They don't. And that's just on the Texas border. We got them coming up through here. The cartels are getting them in here through the Arizona border. Ain't nobody saying that. For both they and their camels were without number. And they entered into the land to destroy it. And that's Judges chapter 6 verse 5. You must be thinking, well, how are they going to do that if they're not coming in here with weapons? Sure, multitudes, but I'm going to go in a little more detail. Let's look at Joshua chapter 6 verse 20. So the people shouted, give us asylum. When the priest blew with the trumpets, in other words, when Title 42 expired, that, hey, they won't in. And it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpet. In other words, the news reports about Title 42 expired. Man, these motherfuckers stay glued to social media more than y'all do. Y'all think y'all the only motherfuckers in the world that's glued to social media. They're on it more than you are. They know more about what's going on in this motherfucker than your ass do. Okay, you think just because they come from these other countries that they're stupid? I've worked with a lot of these people before and been around them a lot of times. I prefer being around them than these stupid ass Americans. And the people shouted with a great shout, "Give us asylum." That the wall fell down flat. In other words, the borders reopened, because that's exactly what's gonna happen. Despite, them talking about, we'll wait till after Christmas and deal with this. That remind me of that scene in The Wizard of Oz when they got all the way up there and got to the door and it was like, "Come back tomorrow." No, fuck that shit. So that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. That's what's gonna happen. Joshua 6:20. That's what's gonna happen. Let's look at Nahum 3:13. "Behold, thy people in the midst of thee are women." In other words, it's indicative of this LGBTQ bullshit. That's what that all represents, being effeminate. "The gates or the borders of thy land shall be set wide open unto thine enemies." It's Nahum 13:3. So they can say whatever they want to. When people didn't just come all the way up here, some of them spent months coming up here from Venezuela, Colombia, Bolivia, and everything in Central America. They were sent an invitation. Okay. Jeremiah 51:31. "One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon," in other words, the president of America, "that his city is taken at one end." Jeremiah 51:30, and that's the border states. They get ready to be overrun. Now, the real reason why they're holding them at the border is because of this massive storm that's blowing across the United States. They really can't deal with them just yet. They got that going on, safety reasons. We don't want to create more of a humanitarian crisis than we already have on our hands now, would we? I'm just saying. Jeremiah 50:43. "The king of Babylon, the president of America, hath heard the report of them, and his hands waxed feeble." Yeah, he is a feeble motherfucker. "Anguish took hold of him as pains as of a woman in travail." Because this shit's not going to work out the way they want it to. The Supreme Court can move to extend that shit all they want to. Them people are going to get in here. They're going to get around that. The cartels are going to get them in here. They're doing it here in Arizona already, officially. They're getting them in here. And a lot of them are mules for the cartels. They're bringing drugs right in here with them. Money talks. So let's get Joel chapter 1, verses 6-7. "For a nation," or in this context, nations, because it ain't just them. I already told you who else is mixed in with that shit. "Is come up upon my land." This is the president. This is what's going through his mind. "Strong and without number, whose teeth are the teeth of lion, and he hath the teeth of a great lion. He hath laid my vine waste, and bought my fig tree. He hath made it clean bare, and cast it away. The branches thereof are made white." In other words, they get up here, they're going to consume resources that are already in limited supply. So, and that was Joel chapter 1, verses 6-7. So for those of you that are bitching and whining about limited resources and everything, wait till this happens, which is going to drive prices even higher. You think you having problems waiting in the waiting room in these hospitals and shit now? You ain't seen nothing yet. 2023 is going to be one hell of a fucking year, man. 2020 was just a beta test. I'm telling y'all right now. Let's look at Exodus chapter 10, verse 15. I'm almost done. For they covered the face of the whole earth, or in this context, the whole country, so that the land was darkened. And they did eat every herb of the land, and all the fruit of the trees which the hail had left, and there remained not any green thing in the trees, or in the herbs of the field, through all the land of Egypt. That's Exodus 10:15. So what do y'all think that means? You know, considering the limited supplies that we have right now, what do you think that means? When you have this huge influx of people coming from all these other different countries and everything, they're going to have to eat. They're going to have safe drinking water. They're going to have some medical attention, as well as other things. But their sheer numbers coming in here at once is going to exhaust pretty much all the supplies that are left. The ones that y'all haven't hoarded, they're going to get it. I'm just saying. Now I'm going to switch gears real quick, and oh man, I'm about to be a real asshole now. Matter of fact, let me put that up here. SYSBM. Yeah, you know I'm going to have to shift this to you feminist bitches, specifically you nigger bitches, because y'all the ones making the biggest deal about this shit. SYSBM is an acronym that stands for Save Yourself Black Man. And recently, there's two main factions of the SYSBM community. Two. I'm pretty sure by now everybody knows about the ones up here up top. The passport bros. They're saving themselves by saying, fuck this shit, I'm out of here, and going to all these other different countries to find the type of woman that's agreeable to them, and you know, this, that, and the other. And all these bitches here are mad as fuck because they know they don't have those options to do that. Well, guess what? With this right here occurring and get ready to occur like a motherfucker, SYSBM, the second faction, and I did a video called this on BitChute called Stay Your Ass Stateside Black Man. In other words, you ain't gonna need no passport, none of that shit. Keep your ass around here. So what am I getting at? The Stay Your Ass Stateside Black Man is who you bitches like to, you know, use this moniker. Dusty, musty, rusty, crusty. Well, guess what? All these dusty, musty, rusty, crusty motherfuckers are now gonna have access to bitches they didn't need passports to get access to, because they're all coming here. Didn't never think about that, did you? Oh, but they're gonna be putting them in, you know, FEMA camps and this, and a lot of them are gonna go there, but not all of them. When I was in San Antonio, Texas, when I was out on the streets under that bridge in the I-37, it was bitches and dudes from Honduras, fucking Puerto Rico, and all these other different countries in damn Central America, right out there in the streets, blending in with everybody else. Nobody ever came out there and asked for no ID, none of that shit. They didn't give a fuck. So a lot of these people are gonna come right in here and they're gonna blend right in with the homeless population. This is the real reason why these motherfuckers are shaking in their boots right now. They can't deal with the homeless population as is right now. This goddamn storm blowing through here and everything, and the ones behind it that y'all don't know about yet are gonna put a whole lot of other so-called Americans' asses out on the streets. You're gonna join them. You're gonna join them. So guess what? All you bitches talking all this shit, musty, dusty, musty, rusty, crusty, and all this shit. When these bitches get up in here and everything, they want your dusty, musty, rusty, crusty. They want them because they are feminine, and dusty, musty, rusty, crusty, for the most part, are masculine. A match made in heaven. So you done lost on both fronts, dumbasses. And don't get shit twisted. Even your fucking Pookies and Ray Rays are gonna be out there checking for these bitches too. Yeah, they're gonna be out there feeding the homeless too, just so they can get access to these hoes. A lot of dudes are gonna all of a sudden take resources that they have that they're not giving to you via free dinners and drinks at the bars and at the clubs and all this other frivolous bullshit that motherfuckers used to do. They're gonna be out there on the streets with a little table set up with some little sanitation bags and some sandwiches, and chips and Capri Suns and shit and bottled water and shit like that. And they're gonna be getting phone numbers because them bitches they got phones. They're gonna make sure they get phones. If not, he'll get them some. He'll be pimping them right out there on the streets. He'll pick the one he want and pimp the rest of them. And where's that gonna leave your ass? You talking all this shit right now and everything. Where's that gonna leave you? So what if the government keep giving you money? You ain't got no man. These motherfuckers are gonna come up here and get your man, cause you swear you don't want them. So they're obliged to get them. Why? Because they're citizens here. So when these bitches come up here, it's just a come up in every way for her. What y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do? You talk all this shit and everything. Hey, see, ain't nobody bringing this shit out like this right here. You heard it here first. Ain't nobody bringing this shit because ain't nobody been out on the streets teaching like I have. None of them. So they can't teach you this shit on this level. So when these bitches get here, all of them ain't gonna stay when they, cause a lot of them when they get in there and they realize how they being treated, everything, they gonna fucking escape that shit. Cause they gonna treat them like prisoners. They gonna get, especially them Haitians, oh yeah, they gonna really catch hell. Next thing you know, you gonna see an influx of bitches in this damn country that don't even speak your language. Niggas ain't gonna have to worry about getting drugged up and this, that, and the other like they do in the Dominican Republic and these other places. These bitches come here, they gonna be all over a motherfucker. They ain't gonna need citizenship because ain't nobody gonna be looking for them. They don't give a shit. As long as they don't get in trouble, don't nobody give a fuck. If they're among the homeless population, nobody cares. Y'all are so goddamn stupid, man. You think you're so fucking educated, you think you're so fucking smart, that there's a whole subculture in this country that you're not even looking at. You don't even look at them. If you do, you just throw your nose up and ride right by. And that's what they want you to do because they don't want you no way. You just, weeded your own self out. Motherfuckers out there, cause I remember when I was like, man, shit, we was having a good time most of the time. I don't give a fuck about y'all. Because what y'all wouldn't do, the white man would do. The Arabs did do. The East Indians did do. The Asians did do. And some of the Hispanics did do. We didn't need y'all. And when they get up here and everything, you think there's tent season shit now? Man, them bitches gonna be every goddamn well. Some of y'all gonna be out there. The thing is, you think y'all think y'all got the advantage now just cause you spoiled and entitled and everything. When them bitches get up here, y'all gonna have to compete with them. And see, these women grew up under a patriarchy. So did the men. So it ain't gonna be as easy for y'all to hook up with their men. They will go to your fucking ass. A lot of the women are running from the patriarchy. Especially Honduras, they'll kill a bitch down there and leave a body in the street, think nothing about it. So you ain't gonna be able to, not with these motherfuckers, you ain't, that shit ain't gonna work, trying to tell you now. And these Hispanics that come from down there, when they do get to the United States, yeah, they're gonna run to the white man to get his resources, but when we was on the streets, it was us and them together. We were one because we are one. We're Jacob and Israel. White man was on the outs out there. But see, if you don't have no, real life experience, you couldn't know shit like this. So this right here, hey, come on. Hell, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, shit, come on. Replace some of these ones that are here now. Come on. You nigga bitch, so you think you got it going on now? Y'all gonna have to compete like y'all ain't never had to compete. You go bitch and whine to the government and this and look, they don't want to hear that shit. Because as long as they ain't got to deal with them, they don't give a fuck. Well, we ain't got no man good. That means you quit reproducing and taxpayers won't have to keep paying for that shit. We can't afford that no more. So y'all done been priced out of the market, man, in every way. So you crying about the passport bros, it's the dusty, musty, rusty, crusty that your ass better be keeping an eye on in light of this right here. Deuces.